Welcome back to the Yoga Life channel. Happy to have you again. And today I've got a great topic for you. If you are in a situation right now where within a massive time of change, you want to step up, you want to do something new, you want to grow beyond what you have been and who you have been in the past, but you're keeping yourself stuck because you're worried what your family, your friends, and other people might be thinking and how they might or might not agree with your new choices. So stay tuned if you want to find out how exactly this happens and what you can do to overcome this. Have you been in a situation where, for example, you have done a yoga teacher training, a coaching training, any other training, and you have really opened up your mind to a new way of life, to a new idea of who you could be and how you could show up differently in the world? Like you have already outgrown your old self, but your environment, the people that you love, the people that you care about, and that you live with on a day-to-day level, haven't really changed along with you. You've probably gone away, come back, are all enthusiastic and inspired, and all that they really want is for you to get on with life and fit back right into your old role. Now, the problem that we find in such a scenario is that we have a deeply ingrained need to belong. Not belonging, being rejected by our tribe, is actually one of the core fears we have from baby stage onwards. It's very rudimentary, and it's a necessary tool for survival. We have been wired this way by nature to make sure that we won't be rejected by our tribe and die somewhere out in the woods all by ourselves. So that need to belong, to be accepted, to be embraced by the people with us is really strong, and it can sometimes be a big challenge to overcome that. Why is that so? Because obviously our family, our friends, our old environment are safe. They are familiar. They are what's known to us. And they represent that cushy, sweet, good feeling vibe of something that is predefined for us, where we can just follow along, often don't even have to think a lot. There's probably some sort of tribal leader who sets the rule, whether that's our society, whether it's our church, whether it's the patriarch or matriarch of the house. There are certain rules that you are expected to go by. You probably, as a wife, as a husband, as a child, also expected to behave in a certain way. And if you're suddenly stepping out of line, they might not like that so much. And this tribal consciousness can really keep us stuck in continuing the legacy of what is already there, rather than going with our own heart and with our own gut, really. There's a whole thing here in Australia, for example, that's called tall poppy syndrome. When I first came over, I'd never heard about this, and people were talking about it, and I found it a bit odd. The idea being that you are trying, for example, at work and in your friendship circle, to not stick out your head too much, because if you stand out too much, if you become too visible, too different, too special, that tall poppy head might just be chopped off. So there is this ingrained fear in this society here around not standing out too much. Other societies might be different in that regard. But it's an interesting thing to observe. What are the set rules and expectations and narratives that exist in your tribe, in your family, in your society around whether you can or can't stick out, whether you can or can't be more of an individual, or whether you should just be kind of demure and try to fit in and follow the rules. What does it mean, for example, in your society and environment to be good, be a good girl, be a good wife, be a good husband, by all means, if you're male and watching this? What is the being good standard where you are coming from, and how do you have to act and behave and fit in order to fit that standard? There's always this unspoken fear of punishment in case we don't go along with what we're expecting to do. Now, how is this a problem? If, just like I said before, you have done some sort of training, you have maybe also even just done some reading. You might have watched one or two of our YouTube channels or of the many other channels that are here, and kind of had ideas and sparks and glimpses of what else you could be, how else you could step up, and what might be out there that you've never considered quite in the same way. So by you still having one foot in the old camp, you are holding yourself back from fully stepping into that new identity. And stepping into your power is really what this journey of growth is all about. Hopefully, it can happen in a way that goes along with your family, can be accepted, can be respected. But what if it doesn't? Let's look at how stepping into your power really looks like and what it consists of. So, the idea is to want to grow and reach your full potential, to not live a default kind of lifestyle, not live up to the expectations others have of you, whether that's your parents or your family, but to get a clear idea about who you are and what your potential looks like, and then set an own set of expectations, an own set of criteria that you hold for yourself about who you want to be and how you want to be able to show up in the world. The tricky thing here is that it requires for you to step into the unknown, to step into the uncertainty. Tony Robbins, one of my favorite life coaches, says famously that the quality of your life is to a very high degree determined by the amount of uncertainty you are willing and able to tolerate. The quality of your life is determined by the amount of uncertainty you are willing and able to tolerate. So how much are you willing to go out of your own way? Are you willing to do something you haven't done before, experience things you haven't done before, put yourself out there and take a risk? If you are, then a whole new world is awaiting you out there. And what you need to be able to do is start leading yourself. When you're in tribal consciousness, you're kind of being given the narrative of who you should be, how you should act, how you should behave. Stepping into your power means that you find your own leadership, that you find your own clarity, and you determine the criteria of who you want to be and how you want to show up. And you need to be able to stand for something. And that's the trickiest part of all, because all sorts of people are going to come and pull on you, going like, but you should be doing this, but you should be doing that. I heard someone say the other day, they are shoulding all over you. And the should is the guilt tripping side of things. And when you are stepping into your power, guilt trips and shame are your biggest enemy, because they are the hooks that are trying to draw you back into your old life and into your own consciousness. So being able and willing to draw a line in the sand, stand for something and stand firm in your own beliefs, that is really what is required and what you need to practice. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. It's completely normal to have that pull of wanting to be loved and accepted, then going like, no, but I can do better than that, standing on your own, then being upset again because somebody doesn't like what you say or do. Going back, no, I have my convictions. I will stand with myself and stand for myself. There can be a whole dance in a phase of transition where you go back and forth between tribal consciousness and the real deep desire and commitment to yourself and to your own journey. It's all really, when it comes down to it, something about building your own self-worth and basing that on something that lies within, to not need to draw on other people's approval and support, but be able to know deeply in your heart and deeply within who you are, what you are worth, and what you want to be standing for. So detach and cut those ties, and not like literally, obviously our family and our friends want our best from what their perspective is should be the best for us. So we can love and appreciate them, but that doesn't mean that we can't stand firm in our convictions and follow our path, because we know deep, deep in our heart, this is where we need to be and this is what we need to do. So it's about becoming clear about what is your truth, and then being willing and able to stand for and live by those rules and live for this truth. So what can you do when you are torn between the family and the people that you love and your own path and your own truth? First of all, be respectful and listen to them. You know, of course you can go and slam doors and be angry and, you know, burn the bridges. But really the question is this going to serve you in the long run? If there's toxicity there, if there's people who need to keep you small, who will put you down, it might be important to shut a door to be able to open another one. But large and by, our families love us and our friends love us and they want our best. So being willing to be empathetic for where they are coming from and that they are doing what they are doing out of love and compassion and wanting us to be looked after and happy and safe is the first step. So that we don't get angry, we don't get defensive, and we don't feel that need to constantly explain and justify ourselves. So tune in with them, explain to the degree that you can your motivations and your needs and why you are doing what you are doing. And at the same time, practice boundaries, get clear around what it is that you want and that you will hold firm to versus what it is that they want and they need, and then draw a line and be able to make it clear when they are overstepping that line and you are needing them to respect your own choices. The next thing, and I'm always recommending this to you, is find yourself people who are aligned with your new kind of empowered self and your new way of being. Who are the people that are going to be supportive, who are probably on a similar journey, actually maybe even going through the same challenges, or who are already there, who are already embracing and embodying what it is that you want, so that you can draw on them, on their support, on their mentorship, on their friendship, and have people who stand with you when otherwise it's quite tough to fully stand by yourself. Maybe another good thing is to make a vision board or write somewhere in big letters on a wall, on a painting, or in a journal the things that really truly matter to you. Have a clear why. The clearer you are on your why, and not only what you want to do, but why you want to do it, what's your motivation behind that, the better for you and the clearer you will be on being able to follow through. Some people even go out every morning and make it their morning practice to reaffirm their why and to either journal about it for half an hour, pray on it, whatever's your path. Some people go for a walk and really breathe in that why and those needs and those wishes and those desires and the clarity of their path. So I hope this helps, a couple of little strategies to help you out. If you are on this kind of journey, I wish you all the best. It is such a challenge, and yet it's the most rewarding journey you will be ever on. The more you can step into who you truly are and bring all of the beautiful gifts that you have into the world, the more the world will start to light up around you, and people will learn to appreciate that new you and will learn to see what you are bringing. Thank you very much. If you like our content, you know where to find the subscribe button. Just under here is also the bell button, so you can get more notifications for upcoming content. And thank you very much for spending a couple of minutes with me today.